Fam, what's going on, y'all? It's Fetty G with SSK Kennels. I'm making this video real quick, fam. Remember, y'all, we're doing a $1,000 giveaway once we get to 40,000 subscribers, fam. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you're not sure if you subscribe to the channel, please check down there in the right-hand corner, fam. Make sure you subscribe. Let's get this video to at least 300 likes, fam. But, fam, I really mean it when I say it's much bigger than dogs, fam. I truly, truly mean that from the bottom of my heart. And there's a few people that has been writing me lately about wanting help, asking certain questions. And of course, I told them, hey, you can set up a coaching or a consultation call. But they seem to not want to go that route. They just seem to keep wanting to text me. I'm not going to keep responding. And I don't want anybody to feel like I'm being rude. Fam, I give out enough free information online already. And I seen a video this morning that made me think about certain people, made me think about how, even me, I'm not trying to put nobody in a box, even me at times, right? We need to get off of motivation and get on to discipline, get on to consistency. And I'm speaking to myself as well. But I just wanted to show y'all this quick video real quick, fam. Check this out and then we'll be right back.
And then the next thing is, well, it's painful to understand how much of what you're doing isn't productive. So I'll give you an example. So I've done this a couple of times with classrooms full of students. Usually when I'm lecturing about career development, say, okay, how much time do you waste? So then I get the class to vote. How many of you waste 10 hours a day? It's like 10% of the kids will put up their hands. And it's interesting because I don't define what constitutes waste. I just ask the question. So they're diagnosing themselves, right? I'm not saying you're wasting 10 hours a day. I'm just asking. It's like, given your own attitude, how much time are you wasting? 10 hours a day. It's like 10% of the people put up their hands. Well, when you get to like 6 hours a day, 80% of the people put up their hands. So then we do the arithmetic. It's like, because I like doing arithmetic with people. People hate arithmetic, but I like doing it. It's like, okay, 6 hours a day. It's 42 hours a week. So let's call that a work week, 40 hours a week. So that's a work week. Let's say, what's your time worth? You're a university student. Well, it's certainly worth minimum wage, because obviously, but it's worth way more than that, because if you spend a productive hour when you're 20, then you gain the benefits of that hour for the rest of your life. So there's the compounding effect of time spent when we were young. So I say, well, let's assume your time's worth $50 an hour, which I think is an underestimate, but whatever. Let's call it 50. We could call it 25, but we'll call it 50. If that's $2,000 a week you're wasting. It's $100,000 a year. It's like, how much better would your life be if you weren't wasting $100,000 a year? It's like, what is that over 40 years? $4 million. It's like, you're rich. You don't even know it. Quit wasting time. By your own definition. It's like people shake their heads. Like, oh, I never thought about it that way. It's like, yeah, think about it that way. Don't waste your damn life. And then you think, well, why would people be resistant to that message? It's like, well, you really want to wake up and figure out that you're wasting half your life? And, you know, when people do that kind of wasting, they actually hate it. You know, and I've had lots of people come to my clinical practice who were chronic procrastinators. You know, and so they're watching YouTube videos, say, but not ones that are good for them, although sometimes they will do that, but just browsing in that kind of mindless way that you do when you're not paying attention and you're trying to kill time. And people doing that, they feel bad. They get depressed. They feel anxious. They can't get away from it. They feel kind of quasi-addicted.
That's what they're saying about social media now. It's a huge issue with young kids. Absolutely.
But there's this feeling of kind of internal rot and corruption that goes along with it. It's like, yeah, well, you're wasting your life. It's like, so it's painful. It's painful to recognize that. Then it's painful to think, oh my God, look how undisciplined I am. I don't know anything. I can't use a schedule. I can't stick to a calendar. I don't have any aims. I don't know anything about the world, right? And maybe there's a part of me that's bitter because I haven't got everything already, and I'd just like to say, to hell with it. That's the recognition of the Jungian shadow. It's like, that's what makes you vicious and untrustworthy. All of that. No one wants to look at that, and no bloody wonder. But hey, the alternative is worse. So
the problem is, you say, like, just saying you stop wasting your life. Like, I think that's not enough. I think this is one of the reasons why a book like this is so important. Like, the idea of discipline in most people's eyes is like, if you're not a disciplined person, it's uncomfortable. It's going to be painful. It's frustrating. You have to force yourself into these things. It's a muscle. It's a muscle that has to be developed. And these patterns have to be developed in your own mindset.
Incrementally.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, so you're right. Just telling people not to waste their lives is not enough. And this is another reason why I've so much enjoyed being a clinical psychologist, because clinical psychologists don't stick with high-level abstractions, especially the behaviors. They're really practical. It's like, okay, you want to get your act together. It's like, well, how about if, let's say you're not studying well, and so we do a real analysis of how much you're studying. You say, well, I go to the library 4 hours a day. It's like, yeah, okay. How much time do you actually study in the library? Well, I waste time. I have to travel there. I look at my phone. It's like, okay, well, how much? 15 minutes? Half an hour? How much is real studying? Well, maybe we figure out it's 15 minutes. Say, okay, so what you're going to do for 1 week is you're going to study for half an hour. That's all. You don't get to go to the library for 4 hours. You have to sit down. We'll figure out a time, 10 o'clock in the morning, whatever. We'll put it in your schedule. Try to study for half an hour, no more. And then just come back and let's have a conversation about how well that worked. And people will come back and they say, well, I managed it 4 days. And one day I went over and one day I couldn't do it at all. It's like, okay, that's better. Instead of 75 minutes of studying, 15 minutes a day for 7 days, what is that? 15, 70, 105 minutes. You've managed about 210 minutes. So you've already produced an improvement of 50% in your bumbling, horrible way. You got a 50% improvement in 1 week. It's like, that's deadly. It's like, so in the future authoring program, what we ask people to do is, well, think about your life along 6 dimensions. What do you want for so the goal is this: you're going to take care of yourself. You're going to have a life in 3 years that justifies its suffering. That's the goal. So you can invent the damn life, but you have to think what you would be satisfied with so you wouldn't be all bitter and resentful. It's like, okay, what do you want from your family? What do you want from your friends? How are you going to educate yourself? What do you want for your career? How are you going to use your time outside of work? How are you going to handle drugs and alcohol and other temptations like that? How are you going to keep yourself mentally and physically healthy? And these are open questions. Like, you get to answer them. The idea is you can have whatever you want, but you have to figure out what it is. It has to be realistic, and you have to figure out what it is. It's okay, so now develop a vision. What's your life going to be like in 3 to 5 years? So you write it down. Then we do something else, which is, okay, your bad habits and your resentment and your bitterness and all of that, your procrastination gets completely out of hand, and you auger down, and you're in your own personal version of hell in 3 to 5 years. What does that look like? Well, everyone knows that. It's like everyone can look into the future and think, well, if I keep going on this dark path, this is where I'll end up. Well, then you've got little hell outlined for yourself to run away from, and you got a little heaven outlined for yourself to run towards, and then you're motivated. Because sometimes, you're just hopeful. I would like a good thing to happen. It's like, yeah, but I'd like to drink half a bottle of whiskey tonight too. It's like, so which is it going to be? Well, just being hopeful about the future might not be enough, but then you think, oh, I see, like, there's that little hell thing that I outlined that's waiting for me. And maybe I'm afraid of taking the next step forward because it's demanding and challenging. It's like, yeah, I'm afraid of that, but I'm way more afraid of where I might end up if I don't get my act together. And people should.
All right, fam. So now that we watched that, fam, remember, fam, don't try to build the house in one day, fam. Start off small. Start off with baby steps. Some of us, we overwhelm ourselves and we put too much on us. And we don't even get started because we're looking at, I got to build this entire bridge. Oh, I'm trying to get to 100,000 subscribers. No, well, let's get to 10. Let's get to 10 subscribers first. Okay, once we get to 10, let's get to 50. Now, once we get to 50, let's get to 100. Set small goals and reach those goals, fam. But you got to understand, sit back and take a look at yourself, not nobody else but yourself, and say, where is this taking me? What I'm doing right now. Right now, I'm making a video. This is helping me out. This is a part of my business, a part of my brand. This is me helping other people, right? What it is that you're doing right now, ask yourself, is it making me better? Whether you strolling on Facebook or Instagram, or you at home just chilling, right? You sleeping too much, you eating too much. Ask yourself these questions. Have I worked out today? When the last time I read a book? Fam, I'm gonna put up a clip of my son here. Fam, my son is 3 years old, fam, and I wanted to go ahead and get him a tutor now. I don't want to wait. Fetty Jr. and Tiana, I started them with a tutor much later in life. I said, you know what? I want to go ahead and start Amir early. Fam, I'll put a video here. And the tutor was worried, you know, hey, he's only 3 years old. I'm worried about his attention span. Will he be able to sit here for an hour? If he can't do an hour, we'll do 30 minutes. If he can't do 30, we'll do 20 minutes. Fam, Amir sat there for 1 hour in tutoring, and he enjoyed it. He had fun, but he's at that stage where his brain is like a bucket, and anything that pours into it, he's going to accept. And I want to make sure right now I'm pouring the right things into him, fam. What are the things that we're pouring into not only us, but our kids? But the more we can pour into us, the more we can pour into our kids. So, fam, let's make sure we're moving in the right direction. Let's make sure we're around the right people. Let's make sure our habits align with our goals and vice versa. I just thought about that this morning, fam. If you in this dog game, or you cut hair, or you do nails, or whatever it is that you do, fam, ask yourself, what am I doing today that is going to get me closer to where I'm trying to be? Really ask yourself that question. Don't ask nobody else. Don't ask your girl. Don't ask your boyfriend. Don't ask your kids, your brother. Ask yourself and write down. Literally get a sheet of paper and write down, what am I going to do today, tomorrow? Just set goals for today. What am I going to do today that's going to get me closer to where I want to go? I'm doing this video right now hoping that I'll gain more subscribers, I'll reach more people, I'll impact more people, I'll draw more people onto this family. That is my goal, fam. Right now with what I'm doing in this moment on this video. So, fam, please let me know what y'all think about that video in the comments. And again, ask yourself, leave it in the comments, what you're going to do today that will get you closer to where it is that you're trying to go, fam. I love y'all, and I'm going to see y'all in the next one. Remember, it's much bigger than dogs. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, family. Love y'all.